the best, you got him 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got rid of the outside, both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taking Anderson! Anderson's up to
Oh my God!
Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go!
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?
Oval Racing is back on SimSpeed TV. It's been too long, but finally tonight we bring to you the NASCAR XFINITY Series official racing to the be fixed, kicking off in the 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time slot, and we have got some pictures on the screen. That is Atlanta Motor Speedway, the 1.5 mile track in Atlanta, funnily enough. And commentary for tonight will be myself, Ryan Jones, with Simon Somo alongside me, and Jay Kennedy behind the scenes there. Sorry, Simon.
Simon. Just butcher my name straight at the start. This is good.
So this is going to be a pretty good race. Jay's been watching the last couple of time slots. He's been telling us it's been some pretty fantastic racing. Just watched the practice session that was up before this official server went up, and there's some pretty quick guys out there tonight, isn't there, Sam?
Yeah, definitely a few quick guys out there tonight. Yeah, hello to everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and yeah, no, it's looking forward to be a good one. Jay has been talking up all night, but this is going to be a good one to watch. So 25 cars tonight. It's looking like it's going to be an awesome one.
So there's a number of drivers out there that he is one of them that have done a lot of racing on the oval side and pretty much do it all year round. A lot of those drivers are in here, as usual. See guys like Dave Douglas, Stephen Williams, Craig Hopkins does a fair bit of racing on the ovals. But then you got some other drivers here that are very good on the ovals, but they don't do it as often. Jake Maloney, one of those drivers. Cameron Dance, another driver that doesn't do too much oval racing all year round. But it's that time of the season, Simon. The Daytona 500 is coming up soon. Drivers are starting to get back into the swing of things on the oval side, and some varying levels of experience and talent out there tonight. We just got the one split, so a big spread on this field as well.
Yeah, very, very, very big spread, especially like I say with those guys who probably don't do a whole lot of oval racing, and with Daytona coming up. That's probably one thing that I was glad I did last year with the major series, and it really builds an appreciation for sort of how hard it is to do the oval stuff. So they're coming across. This is a good opportunity. Yeah, it's a good opportunity, especially for the road guys. It seems a bit of a technical track. I was doing a few laps earlier tonight to sort of see what it's like out there. It's a bit of a technical track, especially with the new tyre model on these cars as well. They're going to have to be on their toes and to sort of get their heads around it, but definitely they'll come away with a bit of a good experience if they're trying to go to Daytona.
Certainly, and that's a very good first lap from Jake Maloney at 29.993. I was remarking in that practice session that it was going to be impossible to be the fastest time in the first 2 laps, the only 2 laps you get in qualifying due to the cold tyres, but Maloney there, pretty much matching what he's been doing in the practice sessions, and on his second lap, probably go a little bit quicker than that. Watching Steve Williams as well is going to come across the line, and he will put himself up into 6th place. Maloney didn't improve. Jake Burton went to the top with 29.923 in that Talladega Nights throwback scheme there. The Wanda livery.
Beautiful car. Beautiful car.
It is beautiful. And here's Dave Douglas on board with the Illusion Motorsport driver, making his way through 3 and 4. Quite a bumpy track is Atlanta. Easy to make a mistake as a result of that. This is actually Stephen Williams, not Dave Douglas. And he is not going to improve on his second lap. Yes, he will. 30.1, so he goes up 3 spots into 6. And a lot of drivers are just waiting out as well till the last moment of the session to do their lap times.
Yep, a few times starting to roll in now, especially. I think a few are starting to come to their second laps. Just as you mentioned, Dave Douglas early, he puts his first time in. He goes P11, but he'll have his second one. And as you're saying with the tyres, they'll be up to temp a bit better this lap, so his next lap should be quite good. He's had a very good run out of turn 1. Oh, I jinxed him. I've absolutely jinxed him. He's got it all sideways down the back straight, so maybe won't go quicker this time by, but we'll see how he goes.
Lap won't be validated either because he has rubbed a wall, and he'll be quite disappointed with that one, I dare say.
Yeah, I must
He'll
have
have to
missed the
start
ball.
buried in the field, and some sideways action through turn 1. Event those frustrations. Dalton Martin is another driver that I've seen around. He's from America, Carolina region. I've seen him around in a few Australian events every now and then, and he's often in the picture when it comes to being in the front half of the field. So we're keeping an eye on him as well at some point today. Unfortunately, we're on board with Cameron Dance here. He's been talking himself up in this race too. Been telling us all he's going to be at the front and probably winning the race, and he's just starting his first lap now, so we'll see whether he can live up to those expectations here, Simon.
Oh, he's going to have to. Oh, and he's already made a mistake out of turn 2. Oh, too much of the colleges, I think, coming out of that corner.
Turn 2 is really tricky, isn't it? I think we both found this as well, and we've been seeing with a number of drivers now that the car really just kicks out the rear end. It's very loose coming through that second corner. It's not quite as bad coming out of turn 4. It's just that turn 2 section that really catches you.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's got sort of into, like you're mentioning, really, really bumpy, and I think that's what causes it to be a bit, causes the car to sort of want to step out sideways a bit, just sort of the angle and the bumps coming out. So it's something to be careful of tonight. I think a few guys might be caught out by it. But we'll just have to, sort of see how they go. Hopefully they've prepared for it and they'll be able to manage that over the race.
Certainly, but that is qualifying done as Cameron Dance crosses the line, and he puts in a 30.275, goes P10, just got it in. Let's go through the grid for today's race. It's Jake and Jake on the front row. Jake Burden on pole, the 29.92, edging out Jake Maloney by 700ths of a second. Mike Stenik starts third, ahead of Michael Schreier in fourth. Christopher Polo and Steve Williams on row 3, ahead of Gabriel Storr and Michael Skurlock, 7th and 8th. The top 10 rounded out by David Klein and Cameron Dance.
Yep. Next row we've got Brad Newman starting in 11th. Dave Douglas, Tyler McGee, Craig Hopkins coming out of 14th. Eric I'm going to ruin that one. McCluskey, Stephen Neal, James Allen coming in 17th, Dalton J. Martin 18th, Bernard White, and Dominic Ferraris P20 with a 30.9. You'd be disappointed with that one.
Yeah, Brian Richmond then from the 21st, Heather Timothy Deswarte, Richard Larkins, Gregory Derzing, and the grid rounded out by Jeffrey Clark. 25 drivers all up for this one. 45 laps around the Atlanta Motor Speedway. There's the weather conditions on screen as well. Currently 26 degrees. Track temp 37, so it's probably a few degrees hotter than you'd be hoping for an oval race. It might be a little bit slippery at that temp. Not too much wind in the air. 3 kilometers from the north. It will not affect these drivers. One little bit, I don't suspect. And the weather as well, constant. The dynamic sky though, so expect some cloud cover to roll over the track at some point potentially. cast some shadows out there where drivers can find some grip. And expect these first 2 laps to be a little bit treacherous as they navigate the bumps with the cold tires. We'll see a lot of the weaving on the outlap here that you haven't really seen in oval racing. Last time that we did an oval broadcast of SimSpeed TV, there was no need to weave your car, warm up those tires on the outlap because it didn't seem to make much of a difference. But today, it's going to make quite a difference to how much you do. And Jake Burton doing a nice little wheel spin to get off the line to kickstart that tire warming process.
Yeah, left a few little licorice straps as he sort of left the line, but absolutely, you've got to try to get the heat in the tyres straight away. Trying to get that bolt early, especially if you want to try and make a gap. Try to lose the guys behind you out of that draft, so making sure you've got plenty of tyre temp for those first couple of laps is definitely going to help you along, especially mid-pack guys. Going to feel a bit sorry for them. They're probably going to be a bit sort of stuck in with cars hanging around them, but yeah, same thing. They're just going to have to get as much tyre temp and try to take advantage of it while they can.
Well, there's a few drivers a little bit down the order that are going to be in a bit of trouble iRating wise if they finish. So they're Dalton Martin, one of them, Brad Newman, another, Cameron Dance, another. So we've got a few drivers that should be able to come through the field here. But of course, those fast guys at the front are going to be putting up a stout defense in this one. 45 laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway, week 6 of 12 of the NASCAR XFINITY Series. Be fixed on the iRacing. Let's get that green flag in the hands of Jake Burton in the number 7. Green flag flies, and we're racing at Atlanta, and a fantastic jump there from Burton. He's caught Maloney napping, and Mike Stenik's going to get alongside him into turn number 2, or turn number 1, as the field goes 3 wide behind them. That's Cameron Dance going through the middle and making up some great ground as he fights the car through turn 2 and gets a good run to the back straight away too. And a clean start, no incidents right throughout this field.
Yeah, Kyle Dances, I'm calling him tonight. He's had an absolute ripper start in the mid-pack there. But yep, they've all seemed to have spread out, coming out of 4 now. So a few people still running side by side down the back. There's a few running, there's a bit of sideways movement coming out of 4. But everyone seems to sort of be finding their rhythm now. The tyres will be starting to come up. But yep, we're starting to find a bit of a train developing. Oh, there's one sideways out of 2.
That's 14 who's gone around to the background. The 14 is Eric McCluskey. We've stayed green though. He's down on the apron. So no caution being flown. And don't think that's the last time we'll see that today. As Tyler McGee here in 11th place, looking back at to Illusion Cause that got on the fence. Dave Douglas, that was Stephen Williams, has just caught the fence on entry to turn 1. And his teammate, who Dave Douglas got a bit of that too, unfortunately was pushing him. And Williams loses about 3 spots in that one. Out front, Jake Maloney has lost that spot to Mark Stenik, who's jumped out in front of him. And they're side by side for P6 behind them. Cameron Dance to the inside of the number 11 of David Klein. Through turns 1 and 2, Dance slides up the track, has to get out of the throttle. And Klein just edges that car a couple lanes up to stay out of his way. And he gets the run down the back straight. Might clear Cameron Dance here into turn 3.
Yeah, he's got that one done. Also watching Sherlock and Newman going side by side out of 4 as well. Looks like, I think it's going to be Skurlock, sorry. Skurlock's going to be getting the run into 1. Yep, he's got that move done. You can see a bit further up.
Side by side for P4 as well. Christopher Polo and Gabriel Storr. They've just been watching in their mirrors. David Klein narrowly avoid being taken out by Dance through turns 1 and 2. Now they're trying to go side by side or be a little bit cleaner, and they will. Storr is going to take the spot away on the inside and move himself up into P5. As the number 11 of Klein wants a bit of action involved in this too. He's getting a push almost from Cameron Dance. There's 4 cars vying for the same piece of real estate here on the 8. Is going to get the fence down that back straight away. Very bumpy back there. The car really moves around a lot. And Polo's found that out the hard way there.
Yeah, the only thing I can say about these guys is look at the moment. The 3 cars in front of them are starting to pull a comfortable gap now. So though these guys want to try to get in front of each other, they're just losing time to the guys in front. So
We've got a
they've got to...
replay up on screen as well here, Simon. This is James Allen, and he too found trouble.
Whoa!
And hey,
Oh.
what do you make of that one?
Yeah, I think what we were talking about earlier, just that turn 2 just caught him a little bit sideways, and yeah, once it's sort of gone, he wasn't getting it back. So unfortunately into the wall. So he'll probably be in the pits getting repairs, but I think that might be day done for him at this point.
Cameron Dance gets loose and he sideswipes the number 11. Heading into turn 1, David Klein, a fantastic save. He's going to lose a few positions from it, and that was very hairy for the 11. As Brad Newman in the 6 got a bit squirrely trying to get around them as well. And Dance was trying to go around the outside of Klein. He tried the inside a couple laps ago, it hadn't worked. Thought, let's go around the outside, and that car broke loose as it headed through the tri-oval there. Take a look at this, Simon.
Yep, got Cam on the outside as they run into one. Oh, he's a bit wide. Oh! Not quite sure what happened there. Did Cam come down a bit, or did David run a bit wide? I'm not quite sure. They sort of just met in the middle of turn 2. We've sort of got an onboard look now, sort of see what's going on here. Oh, I think maybe Cam maybe got a bit sideways coming into one. Yeah. And caution.
Live pictures, we have got a caution. It's for Stephen Neal in the number 16. He was running back in the pack, sideways down the back straight away, and he's got a touch there, it looks like, from one of the Illusion cars, and around he goes. Contact with the 16 as well as he slid back up onto the track. That's Dave Douglas, who was in 16th place, and that's quite unfortunate there.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. Yeah, there's a bit of contact, as we sort of reported. Yeah, that just sort of, he's tried to get out of it, tried to sort of stay out of and try to follow him back as he was coming back onto the track. But yeah, unfortunately, he just sort of slid in front of him. So not much he can really do in that situation. So very unfortunate for both of them that sort of happened. But yeah, now we've got a caution period to allow everyone to reset, and probably more importantly, pit stops, new tires and fuel to get to try and get you further in this race. Tires definitely, the tire life will definitely be starting to go on these things. So everyone, I'd imagine everyone will be trying to make a run to the pits to get some new tires on.
Yep. So pit stops under caution, always much easier. No pressure to get down to the speed limit. Of course, in NASCAR, they don't have speed limiters on those machines. The rev counter in front of them will light up green when they're doing the speed limit, but that's all they have to work with. Got to modulate that thought of yourself and find a nice sweet point to stick to that 80-kilometer limit. And when you come in hot under green flag conditions, it's going to be very tricky to get down to that. But under caution, no such issues, and no such issues with anyone siding through their pit box either, which is another issue that you see very often in oval racing. Someone has stayed out, and that is Brian Richmond.
Well, as they're coming out of the pits, so Burton's managed to keep the lead as they've come out. Stower seems to have made a jump as well. He's now up behind second. Stenik in third, and then Maloney in fourth, followed by Schreier. So everyone's starting to funnel out of the pits at the moment. Doesn't seem like a whole lot has changed. But yeah, Stower's made the big jump. He's gone all the way up from fourth up into second. So he's had a terrific pit stop to make that jump.
Yeah, he has definitely made a good stop there. Definitely took 4 tires too. So he will restart from third, provided Richmond doesn't dive down into the pits here, which he's not going to do. So this is going to be an interesting restart now then, because Brian Richmond's on tires that have got 11 laps to their span already.
Yeah, exactly.
And when he jumps on the throttle, all 4 of those tires are going to light up, and he's going to really struggle for grip. Car's probably going to break sideways too, so he's going to be very careful and patient when he jumps onto the throttle here. He doesn't allow himself to get caught out.
Yeah, I've noticed a few guys as well, just sort of getting out of the pit right in front of the safety car. So I think they'll be able to get onto the tail, but very, very close. We are going green this time by, so they'll have to hurry up and join to the rest of the field. But yeah, I'm sort of interested to look and see how Brian goes on the start. Maybe okay for the start, as everyone else will have cold tires as well. But yeah, I think that will very quickly disappear. Everyone else is just going to have newer tires, and they'll manage to find their way past very comfortably. So not quite sure why he's made that call. It probably would have been better to to take tires. I don't think the track positions are really going to help him in this case.
Well, let's see. It's not for us to judge what they do out there. They know best because they're the ones at the wheel of their machines. Let's find out then. Let's get that green flag back in the air. The pace car will dive down here off turn number 4 and put the field back in the hands of the number 21 machine. He's got Burton on the outside. He's got Stenik Blind still on the outside of row 2. He backs them up a long way and gives a bit of a hit to Jake Burton, and there's chaos in the field behind them. 3-4 wide, and
big hit
around they go, and the big crash in the turn 1. That's the big one here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Over half a dozen cars involved in that, and that is going to take just a little bit to dissect that one.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of cars involved in that one. There's sort of in that third, fourth, fifth position. There was a lot of pushing and shoving. I think if someone might have got a bad start, and yeah, just a lot of hip and shoulders, and that was just inevitably going to happen at that point. So we'll have to go back and see what's actually happened. We've got a replay coming up at the moment, but yeah, a few people just a bit too eager to get going, I think.
Well, Rushford backed them up a long, long time. That's what's caught a lot of the drivers out. So they've had to check up just a bit. And with the cold tyres, you cannot afford to really be on that wheel at all. And they all just sort of concentrated up right there. A big check-up. And then the 13 Australia went nowhere, forcing the number 6 to get to his inside. Skerlock down there on the inside got collected by the 19 of Ferraris as they tried to go through. The 22 came in very hot there as well after the fact.
Yeah.
And I think that's just about 3 or 4 different issues all colliding into one as you see the chaos unfolding behind Maloney there.
Yeah, it's it. So it's very lucky for those guys. It's all sort of happened behind them. But yeah, unfortunately, just that little bit of a, as you're sort of saying, a bit of a checkup in that mid-pack and just caused a bit of an issue for all of them. So, but well, we're back on the caution, so they'll have a chance to reset. If they've got a bit of damage, they might try and get that sort of fixed up and get back out there instead of have another crack at it. So we've got a few in the pits at the moment. I can sort of see Craig Hopkins. Skerlock is also in. Schreier's in. I'm trying to see who else may have made it to the lane.
Looks like the top 7 stayed out, the rest have pitted for damage or otherwise.
Yeah. You can also see Cam's in there as well at the moment. Dominic Ferraris is in there, so yeah, a few guys will have to get a bit of repairs done. We'll see how they go, see if they can get back out there.
The pit exit here is quite annoying because the banking starts on the apron corner, and you can see on screen there that little line just below the white line, this seam of the tarmac, as it shifts to banking. When you come out of the pits and you drive your car over that and transition into that little laneway between it and the white line where you really want to be, the car gets quite loose, and thankfully they don't have any green flag pit stops today. They won't have any green flag stops. Because when you're doing that at full speed, very easy to make a mistake in this pit exit. Luckily, under caution, they can just roll around at the very bottom of the track there and not worry about their speed very much.
Yeah, exactly right. So that little apron section that we're sort of looking at below the white line, that's pretty much the ideal spot if you want to come out with a bit of pace. And that's sort of discovered it earlier when I was running around that, that's the ideal spot you got to sit on if you want to come out of at the pit with a bit of pace going. But yeah, don't have to worry about it today when the caution. So getting a few free kicks and not having to worry about those sorts of things today. But hopefully when we go green, we can get some green flag running. We'll be able to see a bit more of that happening.
Should mention too, for anyone that doesn't do much oval racing or maybe doesn't know, we have the green white checkered system in place as well for these official races. They get one attempt at it. What that means is if the caution flies before they take the white flag, and caution period would normally take you to the end of the race, they will do a green light check and extend the length of the race, give you 2 laps to go green, no matter what, and you'll get that attempt. If the caution flies again with the 1 attempt, the field will be frozen, and that will be your race. But it does offer a bit of respite for some drivers that are looking for some last lap passes and maybe get a bit unfortunate with someone spinning behind them, and it can create some absolutely wild finishes.
Ah, absolutely. It's a great thing to have, to sort of have at the moment. So, I said a few of us have done sort of ovals in the past, usually sort of finishing under caution, not as exciting. So at least to have have an opportunity to go again and at least try to finish under green, and yeah, it absolutely gives a lot of people an opportunity that may have not been able to sort of get a decent result. They'll have a lap to sort of have a crack at it and try and get that result that they want.
All right, let's try this again. Brian Richmond, is he going to make them wait again? Is the field going to be too eager again? There's been a big shuffle up 3 or 4 rows back in terms of positioning since the last one. The front 2 rows basically the same. Richmond from Burton. Stenik's got Maloney to his outside. Stower drops back to the inside of the 3rd row.
There's a lot of cars
this
out
time,
of position.
yeah, Richmond's gone quite early, and Burton slides down in
Oh, we got one
front
off.
of the number 1, and Jake Maloney going to the outside of him. And the 14's found the pit wall.
Oh, gee, that's a bit unlucky. Yeah, I sort of noticed that it was just as the lights went green, he sort of just for some reason ended up sliding into the lane. So not quite sure what happened there. A bit unfortunate, but he should be able to keep going. Just might, unfortunately, might have a penalty for that for entering the pits the way he did. But nonetheless, he should be able to get back out there.
So Richmond's already gone all the way back to P4, struggling immensely on those older tyres. The lead taken away by Jake Burton. Mike Stenik slots in 2nd. Maloney chasing him down the back straight, just showing his nose. He's got to run into turn 3. They're both fighting that car, still trying to find some more grip in them. Stenik running about 2.5 lanes up the track, right in the middle of Maloney. Going to come through there on the inside as I go across the start-finish stripe. It's Maloney with a car half a length ahead, and he should clear him here through 1 and 2, and he does with ease. Just going to watch that car doesn't kick out here through turn 2. And Stenik's actually coming back as Maloney catches the fence coming out of turn 2.
That was very, very close there. I was sort of watching him as he was coming out of the corner. I thought he was getting a bit close there, but very close. Thought Stenik would have had another run at him, but fortunately hasn't had that good of a run off turn 2, so he's going to have to sit it
because of the fence.
Ah, yeah. Oh, of course, yes. But yeah, you have to set back in now. Try and get into the draft of Maloney and have another crack at it later when he can have a chance. So a few other guys behind as well. Yeah, we are at the halfway point as well. Brian Richmond, just watching him at the moment. He seems to have stabilised a bit here in 4th place, but he's now under attack by Stower. But yeah, I think that's going to happen. Be done pretty quick. Stower with the newer tyres.
Stenik is coming back at Jake Maloney here through turn number 2. Maloney not leaving him much room at all. And they are side by side once again down the back straightaway. Stenik's going to try to take this one away here through turn 3 and 4. Wonder if Maloney's going to look for the crossover move here. It looks like he's trying to just edge that car towards the lower side of the racetrack. Use some of the slipstream here down the main straight. Try to get back by him, but not going to happen into 1 and 2. It's a good move from Stenik to take that spot back. What this is doing, though, is it's allowing Jake Burton to open up now to a 1.1 second lead out front. Running almost unchallenged in this race so far.
Yeah, it's just been a very clinical drive from Burton at the moment. He's just doing everything he needs to. Like I said, building that gap out, and that's just exactly what he needs. With everyone else sort of having a little bit of a battle behind him, that's just only helping him along. So now he's sort of broken that draft, he can get his head down and try and build a bit of a gap. Don't know if they'll be able to sort of catch up to him for the moment, but yeah, he's doing a very good job at front at the moment.
Stenik just opened up a bit of a gap too now in Maloney, so he's pulled some pace on him. He's got about 4 car lengths on him, and Brian Richmond has gone back to P number 5, and he's looking back in his mirror at Christopher Polo in the number 8, who's in 6, trying to chase him down. Polo's got those fresh tyres. Richmond doesn't. He's been on these since the start of the race. Probably regrets that decision now, but live and learn sometimes, and I'm sure Richmond will be hoping for hoping for another caution here where everyone's going to have to come down pit lane, because it's been long enough since the last pit stop, and he should find a bit of a net gain in that. But the longer this goes, the less and less likely it is that Richmond's going to find any gain at all from this strategy.
Yeah, exactly. He's, I was going to say, he has done pretty good. He's got some really good track position at the moment. I'm not quite sure where he was prior to the pit stop. I think he was down sort of 14th, 15th. So for him to sort of be around fifth, to be in 5th place at the moment, absolutely. If a caution was to come out very shortly, he'd be able to come in, get new sets of tyres, and would have made a very big net gain out of it. Also, did notice he did start 21st, so he's doing very well out of that strategy call. Didn't think it was going to work, but yeah, so far it's proven to be very good so far.
Yeah, all the 16 just got sideways coming through turn 4. He's checked up. The 10 of Stephen Williams, the 16 is Stephen Neal, and he's still fighting that car through the tri-oval. The 9 of Skerlock gets down on the apron, comes back up, gets a bit sideways, brings out the caution with that fancy new overlay on the top left of your screen. The caution's actually for Cameron Dance, and I thought that seemed a bit strange, a caution for that. So Cameron Dance brings it out for not the first time today. And let's take a look at the motor simulation replay.
Oh, he's just got it sideways out of 4, I believe. Oh, he's just, yep. Made a bit of wall contact, and he just could not save it after that, and then got into the wall very, very hard. Yeah, I think, fortunately for Cam, that might be it for the day. That car is looking very, very sorry for itself at the moment. So, yeah, bit unfortunate there. Just, I think, lightly tapped the wall, so having another sort of look at it. But, yeah, oh, he's lost it in the mid-corner. No, that was out of 2, sorry. So, no, yep, got the... Oh, it is live. Apologies. I'm reading too much into it. Apologies.
Alright, so Brian Richmond is a big winner out of all this, because I expect, and as there we go, the whole field comes down into pit lane for the second time today, led by Jake Burton once more. We'll see if there's any big movers. Gabriel Storer, look out for him again, because he made that big jump last time. We'll see whether he can do that again here, and if he does, he may well find himself on the front row for the restart. And a lot of drivers will be looking to get some damage repaired too, like Michael Skurlock, who was running into some issues of his own when that caution came out. He would be extremely thankful for that caution coming at a brilliant time for him and that whole group of cars, really, that were looking to almost have a caution themselves when it did fly. We've got Lucky Dog as well. It is Craig Hopkins. The Lucky Dog is the first car a lap down. If they are not involved in the incident that brings out the caution, they will get a free wave around the pace car to get their lap back, or one of the lap backs if they're multiple laps down. And that happens every time the caution comes out, if there's a car a lap down.
Yep, that does happen, and it's sometimes good. It actually is really good. You can make that strategy call to sort of stay out for as long as you can. Try and get yourself back on that lead lap, especially if you are only a lap down, which by the looks of it he is. So he'll be able to get his lap back, which would be very, very handy for him at the moment. So is a bit of checking up going at the moment at turn 4. I think a few people trying to sort out what position they need to be in at the moment. So did also notice too, Stenik has dropped to 4th place. I don't think his pit stop was that good compared to the others around him, so looks like he'll be in with a 4th place start in this one.
Yeah, the iRacing system can just play silly buggers sometimes with some of the instructions it gives as to who to let go, and sometimes it just causes some of those checkups that you see on screen. So Timothy does what there is back in 15th place, but he's a lap down, so he's going to get a wave by here because he is in front of. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see, Jake Burton's behind about 7 cars that are a lap down, who will all get a lap back. This is what there was one of them: James Allen, Bernard White, Cameron Dance, Eric McCluskey, and Deswarte there. And so it's Burton, Maloney, Stower up into 3rd, Stenik back to 4th, Richmond in 5th place. Are you happy with that?
I was going to say, I was mentioning earlier, I think might have wished that safety car a bit for him because he's made the big advantage out of that one. Starting 5th, he did come in that pit stop and grab new tyres, so he's going to be in a good position to have a challenge in this one. So big net game for position. So handed off to him, made a very good strategy call with that one. So just waiting for these lap cars to go past, which they are now. They're getting the wave around. So we'll have Burton and Maloney to the back behind the safety car as we ready to go green this time by.
So there's not going to be too many laps to go, just about 13 laps to go when we go green again. So it's a relatively short run here. And Maloney's got to find something off this restart to stick with Jake Burton, because Burton's been unchallenged and no one's been able to get near him.
Yeah, I think at this point they should be right to get to the end. I don't think they'll need to have another stop to get home. So this should be basically a sprint to the end. So I know it's absolutely right. Maloney needs to get a really good start. Even just try to get him behind Burton on the start and just go with him and maybe try to challenge him towards the end of the race. So far, everyone's sort of coming into position at the moment. There's a few stragglers, a few people out of position at the moment. So better have to try to get themselves in position before we go green.
Well, here we go. It's in the hands of Jake Burton once more, as it was at the start of the race. It's Jake and Jake once again, Burton and Maloney, and a good jump there from Burton with a bit of wheel spin. Maloney already cutting down right in front of Gabriel Stower on the run into turn 1. I think they made contact there. Definitely slid across that front bumper. Stenik will maintain 4th place as they get a bit sideways coming through turn 2. They're 3 wide further back in the pack as well, as Stower goes to the inside of Jake Maloney through turn number 3. And Stenik looking for a way to get by both of them. Not going to find it yet, as there's a wall right in front of him in the form of 2 Xfinity machines. Stower should get this one done through turn 1 here, but he's got a bit sideways on the enter and he's fighting that car. Back up the track he goes. Stenik has to back out of it, but not quick enough. And Richmond gets involved as well. Around to the back straightaway for Gabriel Stower. And a fantastic race comes to an end for him as the 16 goes spinning there as well in sympathy. And Stenik just couldn't backpedal fast enough.
Yeah, I was having a look back in the pack as well. There was a few guys sort of getting sideways, a bit of hip and shoulder going on. So seems like everyone was trying to take advantage of that opening lap, try to get as much position as they could. Have a quick flick at a replay, sort of see what's going on with Stower. You can sort of see he's with Maloney side by side into turn 1. A bit sideways from Maloney. Sorry, Stower. Oh, the contact. So Stenik's got into the back of him as he's come sideways. Oh, that's just triggered the mess that happened.
Has Richmond made it through that? Somehow. Yes. So,
yes.
Despite absolutely ploughing into the side of Gabriel Stower at max speed along the back straightaway, Brian Richmond sits in 3rd place without so much as a scratch on that machine. Here's the onboard. He even got the fence as well. There you go. So we got the fence. We got a little bit of damage to the front right, but that's pretty much it. And it's your day, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. He's having all the luck today. He's having a fantastic run. So looks like it's only a bit of damage on the front. Yeah, as you were sort of saying. So that contact with the walls just done a bit of damage to the front right. So that might affect his aero a little bit. So he'll be needing to sort of, on the restart, try and get in someone's draft to try to minimize that aero loss. But yeah, he's very lucky to survive that with as minimum damage as he has.
Just suffering a couple of dropouts there with his internet. That might be why he made it through that crash. The old lag switch there coming into play. But once again, Burton that fantastic restart. Maloney not reacting quick enough. So Maloney's going to try something different here to react quicker. So when Burton drops that hammer, maybe try to preempt it because just waiting for him to go and then reacting yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's Burton's starts have just been phenomenal so far. I don't think he's had a restart where he hasn't just massively gapped the field off the line. So, yeah, Maloney's going to have to find something. He's going to find a way to predict when Burton's going to go, because he's got to try to get in behind him, and that gap he's just building. So he won't. Oh, Stenik is going to be a bit further down the field. So Stenik and Stoll were sort of really challenging on the restarts, but he's only going to have Richmond and Christopher behind him. So, but yeah, same thing. He's just going to have to try to nail that start and make sure he can go with Burton in this race, especially if he wants to challenge at the end. We're on lap 37, so hasn't got long left. So if he's going to make a challenge for the lead, he's going to have to make sure it counts on the restart.
Someone that won't be charging at the restart is this man, the number 11 of David Klein. That thing is smoking hot in the back end, getting a bit oily and greasy, and he has to bring that machine down into pit lane because it will go absolutely nowhere off this restart. He's blown that engine or done some serious damage to it in the process of the last few laps under caution. Maybe he was involved in that crash. So Dalton Martin has quietly made his way up into 6th place from 18th on the grid. So he's got a bit of damage to his rear end, but he's made his way through most of the carnage and found himself in a good little spot. Those top 5 have been at the front all race long, especially after that first caution for Brian Richmond. And then Dave Douglas back in 7th. We saw him involved in multiple accidents. Has managed to persevere and maintain a spot in the top 10. Stephen Williams, 2 and 8th, was involved in an accident. Craig Hopkins has been quietly just hovering around the top 10. He's up into 9th. Skurlock, we saw having issues, is up into 10th. And Bizwarte, we saw him get the wave around off the last caution. He's up into 11th place now.
Yeah, he's that was one next one I was going to point out. 22nd up to 11th. So as we were saying earlier, that wave around can be key to sort of getting you back into this race, and that's exactly what's happened here with Timothy. So he's got a perfect opportunity. A few of the guys around him are suffering a bit of damage, so his car looks fairly clean at the moment. So this is a perfect opportunity for capitalize on the restart and try and get himself further into the top 10. Maybe even try and get further up to maybe even challenge for a top 5.
Well, 7 laps to go on the restart. Will it go green all the way? Last few laps indicate that might not be the case. Let's see how far they can get. It's the tale of 2 men on the front row for this race, pretty much. Maloney and Burton. Will fortunes change for Maloney off this restart? It's not worked out for him so far. Once again, in the hands of Jake Burton. The field stacks up. Burton goes. Maloney has to cover. And we are green once more as Richmond, trying to cover off Mike Stenik there into turn 1, just gets in front of him as Christopher Polo around the outside is trying to make some ground as well. And look out for Dalton Martin in the 5-2 coming up on both of these guys, as that was a poor run for Richmond coming off turn 2, and Polo's fighting that car. Almost drifted down to the left rear of Stenik in a straight line on the back straightaway there. Managed to hold onto it, and Stenik has found his way past Richmond, and Martin now's alongside him as well.
Yep, Martin's going to have that run on him as well. Ooh, not quite. Yep, he'll stay down low. Ooh, Richmond's, he's got it sideways. There's a bit of contact. Is he going to keep it straight? Oh, keep it off the wall. He does. That means Martin's gotten into 4th, but now he's going to have Polo and Williams as well. Williams around the outside. He's had a brilliant run on the back straight. Now he's going to come out of the 4 and try and have an attack. Maybe not. Hasn't quite got that run that he needed. Polo back to the inside. So now is he going to have that charge through into turn 1 and 2? So far so good. He's down low. He's got to try and get the run off 2. Oh no, Williams has gone wide. So that's it. Polo's going to take that spot. Now he's just got Martin in front of him. Bit further up, you can see Stenik and Maloney are now following each other. Burton's bolted, as he's done every restart. He's got a nice gap at the moment. He's running away from the field. Everyone else seems to be spreading out a bit. We've got a little bit of a battle here between Douglas and Dance. Oh, Kyle Dance is still in this one at the moment.
How the heck?
Must be the monster delivery. Must be the monster delivery, giving him the energy to keep going. So now he's all over the back of Dave Douglas. So can he move his way further up the field? Catching up to the guys in front too. You've got Skurlock on well.
We'll go to Maloney, second and third. Stenik's going to go to his inside. Down into turn number 1. Is he going to take that second spot away? Maloney's going to try and fight it and hold on to the outside line as he does through turn 2. And look for the exit, but he catches the fence. Just a little graze. He forfeits that position to Stenik. We'll move up into second and see the big gap, and a caution comes out. And we're going to have a green-white jacket here in Atlanta. And that is Richard Larkins with big damage, and he is going and facing backwards on the entry to turn number 3. And we are set for a grandstand finish here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. What's happened here to Larkins?
Oh, let's have a quick look back. Looks like Cam's touched the wall, had a bit of a checkup, and he's just gone into the back of him. Just didn't quite realise that was going to happen. It's a bit unlucky. Not quite sure, yeah, if he sort of realised that was going to happen.
Extremely unlucky. And yeah, Dance looked like he was going to make the corner at the last second. Just failed to get that last bit of turn into the car. Larkins couldn't have seen that one coming, and as a result, nothing he could do. Big damage. That will end his race. And so we get that one green-white jacket attempt. Of course, in real life, they get 3, but for the sake of time, Fisher Racers get just the 1. I wonder whether anyone wants to pit. No, they don't. So we're going to be restarting on tyres that have done about 5 or 6 laps. So going to have to be a little cautious when they jump onto the loud pedal there. And now he's got Mike Stenik to his outside, not Maloney. Can Stenik do a better job of Maloney here of judging this restart from Burton?
Yeah, Stenik's starts have actually been quite good tonight. Him and Stower have been really good off the restarts. So maybe, yeah, we might see a really good jump from Stenik coming off this restart. Not quite sure. Tire life will be about the same for both of them, so they should be. That'd be actually interesting to see what's actually going to happen, especially with tire life wise. Car number 5. No, Martin was looking to fake into the pits, but he's decided not to. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. That's just what I'm sort of curious about is with the tire life, the running that they've got on the tires at the moment, whether or not the start's going to be as good for Burton. Maybe newer tires is a bit better coming off the line. Maybe with a bit older tires, we'll see. We'll have to see what happens there.
Stephen Neal there just getting the lucky dog as well. So this is going to be an interesting one here. Who's your pick here before the green-white jacket? Who's your pick for this one?
I think you have to go with Burton. He's just been so good tonight, especially off the starts. It's going to be hard to sort of see if anyone can have a challenge. But like I said, Stenik will be there. He'll definitely challenge. But yeah, we'll just have to see. But I think Burton's going to be my pick for this one.
Well, let's just quickly go through the top 10 here. Jake Burton, he's been unchallenged. He's still leading. Stenik fought hard to take that second spot away. Can he use the opportunity? Jake Maloney in third, the number 2 driver in the session. He's been second best all race long at least. Dalton Martin's been quiet, but he's found his way up into 4th place now. Christopher Polo has fought hard around the top 5 all race long, as has the Illusion driver of Stephen Williams behind him, number 6. Brand new sponsor to Illusion Motorsport too, Virtual Motorsport Mentor, a brand new mentoring service to help drivers in need. Michael Skurlock, his teammates back there in 7th place too. He's been involved in his fair share of dramas. Craig Hopkins in 8th. Dave Douglas in 9th has somehow managed to maintain a top 10 spot. And same story for Cameron Dance in 10th. It's a tale of 10 very troubled drivers in this race. It seems that most of them have run into issues of some description, with the exception of those probably top 3 have had quiet races. But at a green-white checkered, no one can escape the general calamity that normally ensues.
Just looking at Cam's car at the moment, that thing is a mess. How
is it
he has
even a
kept...
car?
I don't know at this point how he's kept it inside the top 10. I have no idea. He's
I think
just,
the word is pure dumb luck.
that's just classic Cam, isn't it? Just don't know how he does it, but he'll just seems to just hang around. You can't get rid of him.
Alright. Now is the moment where the drivers have got to really focus on nailing this restart. If you slip up getting onto that throttle, you're going to lose a lot of spots, and you're not going to be able to recover in the short 2-lap period you have. If a caution comes out, the field will be frozen, and that will end the race as well. So you have to be on your A game. You have to be alert. What can Stenik do? Can Maloney find a better restart from behind Jake Byrne as opposed to alongside him? Can Martin pull off a sensational victory from the back end of the pack? This is going to be a cracking finish. It's in the hands of Jake Burton once more for the final time today. Green flag back in the air and another fantastic restart from Jake Burton. Stenik hasn't gone anywhere, and Maloney is going to get fully ahead of him into turn number 1 and take P number 2 away. Martin slots into 4th. Polo's in 5th, and he's holding off Stephen Williams, who's round the outside there. The top 7 are all single file, and that's the 16 going around in the background. We stay green, though, as long as he stays down on that apron. Stephen Neal and Jake Maloney is still side by side with Mark Stenik as they come across to take the white flag. Will race back to the checkered no matter what happens now. And Stenik's got a great run around that outside. None of them are catching Jake Burton. It's the battle for best to the rest as Maloney catches a bit of the apron, slides up and almost doors Stenik. But Stenik's got a fantastic run down the back straight into turn 3 and 4 for the final time. Battling for P2, Stenik's going to just about hold on, and he will hold on as out front Jake Burton drove a flawless race and he wins week 6 Friday night here in the B-Fix Series. Stenik home in 2nd, ahead of Maloney in 3rd, Martin 4th, the top 5 rounded out by Christopher Polo.
That was probably the best way to finish that race. That was just awesome. Battle between Maloney and Stenik. It was looking like Maloney might have actually had him coming out of 2. He's definitely tried to sort of give him as little room as possible to sort of coming out of 2. But very good driving from Stenik. He's just driven it off the corner, kept it straight. And yeah, he's managed to take 2nd place in this one. So fantastic race throughout the field. It's been, awesome night.
Do a scared Jake. Jake will do his customary victory burnouts that you always see in the NASCAR series. Let's go through your unofficial results of your official race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Race 1 of the broadcasted season. Week 6, though, of the 12-week season 1 4 seasons we have. Jake Burton then took the victory, Stenik in 2nd, Maloney 3rd, Martin and Polo 4th and 5th. And then Stephen Williams and Scarlett came home 6th and 7th. That Craig Hopkins 8th. Dave Douglas and Cameron Dance 9th and 10th. That top 10 remained pretty much unchanged through that final restart.
Yep, absolutely. Stayed the same. And then we flicked back to 11th. Gabriel Stoller managed to come home in 11th, even after the contact. So good result to sort of get back there. Eric McCluskey coming in 12th. Timothy DeZwati, hope I've got that right, coming in 13th. Bernard White in 14th. Brian Richmond looking so good for a result tonight. He played all these cards right, but unfortunately got involved in an incident right towards the end, coming home in 15th. James Allen coming home in 16th. Stephen Neal coming home 17th. Richard Larkins 18th. David Klein coming home 19th. 20th is Tyler McGee.
Field rounded out by Gregory Dursing, Brad Newman, Michael Schreier, Dominic Ferraris, and Jeffrey Clark, who last 3 some very early issues then. So that is week 6 almost done here, but that's tonight definitely done for the Friday night B-Fix series. And next week we go road course racing. We go to Watkins Glen. That'll be a fantastic race. That'll bring a few different names to the front that you often see in this series. So good to see the form book get turned on its head. But Jake Burton, he's fast. He showed his pace on ovals tonight. We know he's fast on the road courses. He'll be looking to go back to back on Friday night then. But before we sign out for tonight, Simon, your final thoughts on that race today?
Well, it lived up to the hype. Jay was saying all day that it was going to be an amazing race. It absolutely was. As you're saying, Jake Burton can't fault the guy. He did an amazing job tonight. Just completely controlled the whole race. Few pleasant surprises. Like I said, a few guys who managed to come through the field, kept out of trouble, and got really good results tonight. So Atlanta turning it on. It's a great racetrack, and yeah, obviously giving us a great race tonight.
It certainly did. So, on that note, let's wrap this one up for tonight. Coming up for Sim Speed TV, we have the Porsches tomorrow night, the qualifying series of the Porsche Esport Super Cup, Monday Night Supercars as well on Monday night, and then many more races coming up over the next week and to the future. Beyond that, make sure you subscribe to the SimSpeed TV YouTube channel and Facebook page to stay up to date with all our future broadcasts. From myself, Ryan Jones, and Simon Zoma alongside me, from Jay Kennedy behind the scenes, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Hope to see you next time. Thank you and good night.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's got everything outside of both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh my God.
Big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled.
Six very close. These guys are going to want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no, that's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?